Everything just changed for the Indiana Fever, and nobody seems to be talking about it. While your newsfeed is probably flooded with all the madness happening in the NBA right now. The WNBA is undergoing a transformation of its own. Some of the league's top players are switching teams. And if you want to see what an aggressive front office looks like when building around a superstar, the Indiana Fever are the perfect example. They wasted no time and are, without question, the biggest winners of WNBA free agency so far. Not long ago, this was a team drafting one in back-to-back years. And now after just one offseason, they're serious contenders for next season's WNBA championship. Remember when people said WNBA players didn't like Caitlin Clark and no one would want to play with her or go to Indiana? That narrative has aged terribly, because now it seems like everyone wants to join the Fever. Let's start with the insane moves they've made. First and foremost, re-signing Kelsey Mitchell. The biggest question heading into the offseason was her future. She's Caitlin's backcourt partner and a two-time WNBA All-Star who, at 28, is currently in her prime. Kelsey Mitchell is already one of the greatest players in Fever history, 10 in scoring for the last 10 seasons, a legendary scorer in college, and one of the WNBA's all-time best. While many of her records will likely be broken by Caitlin eventually, if Mitchell stays in Indiana, she's on track to be the franchise's all-time leader in points, field goals made, three-pointers, and games played. And the scariest part is she's just getting better. The best of Kelsey Mitchell isn't behind her, it's still ahead. While much of the Indiana Fever's success last season has been attributed to Caitlin Clark, and rightfully so, as it's undeniably her team, we can't overlook how critical Kelsey Mitchell was, especially in the first half of the season. The Fever started off rough, losing 8 of their first 10 games and sitting at 11-15, looking like a lottery-bound team possibly eyeing Paige Bueckers in the draft. At that point, Mitchell was averaging 17.7 points per game, solid enough to earn her an all-star reserve spot, but in the second half of the season, she elevated her game to another level, averaging 24.3 points per game and arguably becoming the best shooting guard in the WNBA. Her leap transformed the Fever's season. After the Olympic break, Indiana won 10 of their next 15 games, finished the season at .500, made the playoffs as the 6th seed, and although they were swept by the Connecticut Sun in the first round, it was still a remarkable turnaround. Kelsey Mitchell became the Fever's top priority this summer. With this being Caitlin Clark's first offseason, it's crucial for a small market team like Indiana to prove their commitment by keeping top talent and building a contender around her. Too often in the NBA, we've seen generational talents land in small markets only to be wasted due to cheap or mismanaged organizations. LeBron James leaving the Cavaliers for Miami is a prime example. The Spurs now have Victor Wembanyama, another generational talent like Caitlin, and Indiana must show they're ready to support their star the right way from the beginning. The Spurs have already made bold moves to support Victor Wembanyama by acquiring Chris Paul, one of the greatest point guards ever, and most recently an all-star guard in De'Aaron Fox. Similarly, if the Fever had lost Kelsey Mitchell, their leading scorer, after the season they just had, it would have been a major slap in the face to Caitlin Clark. Even worse, since Mitchell would have left as a free agent, Indiana would have received nothing in return, but the Fever got the job done, securing Mitchell with a one-year Supermax extension worth $250,000 for the upcoming season. While locking her in long-term would have been ideal, there are benefits to this short-term deal. The WNBA has a strict salary cap, and eventually, Indiana will need to pay Aliyah Boston and Caitlin Clark max contracts. Right now, they have the advantage of having 2 All-Stars on rookie deals earning just $75,000 annually. That flexibility won't last, and having 3 max contracts long-term would severely limit their ability to make future moves. That's why the Fever were so aggressive in free agency. They understand they're in a critical window of opportunity. One of their biggest moves was signing DeWanna Bonner, a former rival of Caitlin Clark during last year's playoffs, who will now be her teammate. This is a huge shift. Bonner was one of the Connecticut Sun's best players on a team that reached the second round and nearly made the WNBA Finals. She's also married to MVP candidate Alyssa Thomas, and her move to Indiana signals just how serious the Fever are about contending now. The Sun traded Alyssa Thomas to the Phoenix Mercury, and many expected DeWanna